Join UF Hall of Famer and 14-year NFL vet Shane Matthews every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Good morning. It's a Thursday edition of PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the International Diamond Center Studios, locations across the state of Florida, right there in Celebration Point in the heart of Gator Nation. Go check them out at International Diamond Center Studios. Today's program will have Brent Beaird talking college football. He's our college football analyst and Heisman Trophy voter. First of all, today is 9/11. Honor those, what is it, 24 years ago, 25, that tragedy that hit. And then yesterday, I ain't gonna lie, people, I'm shaken by what happened yesterday. This is not a political show, has no political bearing. That was a good young man who, whether you disagree with his thoughts or whatever, he always had great composure, passion, and disgust with people that disagreed with him. And my kids personally are younger than him, but really like Charlie Kirk. It was one of the most horrific things I've ever seen in my life. And I just don't understand what's going on in this world. So we'll try to talk about college football. I mean, that right there makes you think, who gives a damn about who calls a play or what have you. Brent, you're on the Titan More Highline courtesy of Comfort Temp. How we doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm shaken by it too, and I agree with everything you said. Kirk really was a guy who united people in a lot of ways instead of dividing them. I mean, he was very respectful of people who disagreed with him, and hopefully his legacy will continue. I believe it will. But
yeah, they just created about millions of Charlie Kirks.
Yeah, no question. Yes. Yes, absolutely.
I'm pissed off. I don't know how else to put it. We'll try to talk sports.
Yes.
Brent, first of all, we got some big games this week. It's actually a really good week if you look at matchups and things of that nature, and we'll get into conference play. What games stand out to you the most?
Well, there are a bunch of them. LSU, Florida, Miami, and South Florida is a bigger game than people realize. I mean, obviously, the biggest game probably is Georgia, Tennessee. Notre Dame, Texas A&M is a huge game with two top 25 ranked teams that really, for whatever reason, has not been talked about much. Who would have ever thought South Carolina and Vanderbilt would be a big game, and both of them undefeated? Clemson and Georgia Tech, and Ole Miss and Arkansas, and also Wisconsin and Alabama too. So, Shane, it frankly is one of the biggest weekends we've had so far.
Yeah, it really is. And this is where I wish we had a home game, because there's a lot of good games, on the bus ride, press box. I mean, there'll be games there I can watch. But let's go ahead and I mean, there's a game tonight. NC State is playing Wake Forest.
Yes.
I'm not sure how either one of those teams are doing, quite honestly. But gives you something to watch if you're not going to watch the NFL game, which is a good one tonight. I think it's the Eagles and the Redskins. And yes, I said the Redskins.
Yes.
They're going to be the Redskins again, I think. Hopefully.
Yeah. And a pretty good slate of Friday games, by the way, Shane. Colorado at Houston, Kansas State at Arizona, New Mexico at UCLA, or just some of them, Indiana State. So that there are 5 games tomorrow night.
Brent, the USA Today coaches poll came out. Anything surprise you?
Well, not particularly. Obviously, you've got Ohio State, Penn State are the top 2 teams. And then you've got the 2 conferences leading the way, the Big Ten and the SEC. Ohio State has the first two. SEC has the next two in Georgia and LSU. Miami is up to 6. Texas, with all their flaws, or 7. You can't, and that's just the way it is. Notre Dame. How about Illinois being 9 and South Carolina being 10? Those are some of the things that caught my eye in the top 10.
Yeah, South Florida's, I think, at 23 right now. I don't see Mississippi State ranked in here. I thought they may have jumped in the top 25, but I guess not. Brent, let's go around the SEC. Alabama's got a big game at home. They're hosting the Wisconsin Badgers.
One of the big things here is, and we kind of snicker about this, but it is true, the weather will have a factor here. I mean, the weather in Alabama is going to be 90 to 95 on Saturday. And how will that affect Wisconsin? I mean, I'm sure they do what they can to get prepared for that, but it's still difficult to do. Letzier Brooks played well against Louisiana Monroe. So that in this second year in a row, Bama's played Wisconsin. They beat them last year on the road 42 to 10. Ty Simpson, 17 of 17. Yes, it was against an inferior foe in Louisiana Monroe, but they still were able to win the game. So still looking to be injury free. Looking ahead, Alabama and Georgia are off next week, and they will play each other the last Saturday of September in Athens in what will be a humongous game.
Yeah. Bernard says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, sitting here in Cairo, Egypt, at a rooftop restaurant listening to PodUp with Shane Matthews and the view of the pyramid.
Wow.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it. One of the games I think is going to kind of fly on the radar, but Arkansas is playing at Ole Miss. Arkansas scored more than 50 points in each game. They have their quarterback back, and they have Bobby Petrino calling plays. Rebels better look out.
Yeah, they really need to. Taylon Green, have you been impressed with him? Shane, 10 touchdowns so far. And look, I know the competition hasn't been what it will be later, and particularly on Saturday. This game is at Ole Miss. Austin Simmons, the Ole Miss quarterback, was banged up somewhat. I think he'll be okay for the game, Shane, unless you've heard something different with that than I have. Also linebacker Xavier Sorey had 14 tackles in the game. The Arkansas defensive back. Listen, Arkansas. I don't care who this is against. It's pretty impressive. Arkansas ran for 321 yards in the Saturday's win over Arkansas State. Ole Miss 2-0. They beaten Georgia State and Kentucky. That Kentucky game was pretty dicey there for a while, but Ole Miss was able to stay in there. Now, here's the thing about Ole Miss we need to remember. This is a first. Now, this is very unusual. Ole Miss has 4 straight home games. They host Tulane, LSU, Washington State, and then they have back-to-back trips to Georgia and Oklahoma. So kind of a mixed bag, Shane, but the Rebels, the crux of their schedule is coming up in the next few weeks.
Yeah, and I think you may have mentioned it, Brent. I was reading some comments here. They plan for Austin Simmons to play in this game, right?
Yes.
Yeah, their backup is a guy from Ferris State. He played the entire fourth quarter, I think, against Kentucky, but never threw a pass.
Right.
So it could be a dicey game for the Rebels. Could be a close one for sure. Auburn's playing South Alabama. They won't have much problem with them. They may sputter around a little bit, but they need to get their passing game going.
They do. Yeah, I agree with that. By the way, South Alabama lost 33-31 to Tulane last week. Pretty much everybody thinks Auburn will be able to win the game, and they will. Now, and this is homecoming for Auburn this early in September, but Auburn has got a brutal 3-game schedule. They're at Oklahoma and A&M, and then they come back home and play Georgia. that's when they're honoring Cam Newton. So that's going to be a very difficult stretch. So Auburn they need to enjoy this game, which is a likely win. Their wide receiver Singleton, who came over from Georgia Tech, is also playing very well. So should be an easy win for Auburn, Shane, but with some very tough games coming up.
The Pouncey twins, Mike and Marquise, invite you to try the mango martinis at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, handcrafted with their J.F. Hayden liqueurs. Try those flavors and find your favorite at shopjfhaydens.com. We got Brent Beaird on the Titan More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Town. All right, Brent, the Gators go to LSU. They're number 3, number 2. Depends on what poll you look at. What can you tell us about this game?
Well, this is a great rivalry in many ways. 4 of the last 5 games have been decided by 10 points or less. I think some important things here. Florida's got to stop one of the trends. They've allowed 18 tackles for loss in 2 games. That puts them last in the league and 129th nationally. L.J. McCray, and you may have more on this, the edge, foot surgery, so he is out for a while. Not real sure about that. Shane, I thought this was interesting. The series with LSU is 34, 34, and 3. So it's been a close one, to say the least. So and again, difficult time for Florida in the South Florida game. Punted on 6 of the 7 drives in the second half. So no doubt that's something they want to take care of. LSU has some injuries. Trades Green, their tight end, is questionable with a knee injury. Braylon Moore, the center, is questionable with an ankle injury, but it's not a high ankle sprain. Destin Hill is questionable with a hand injury, and Garrett Nussmeier is expected to play. Has patella tendonitis. So, I mean, Shane, you probably know more about that than we do, but Nussmeier plays. It's one of these nagging things, but he's able to work through it.
Yeah, there ain't no way in hell he's missing this game.
No.
Yeah, he'll play. I think the thing that stands out to me is, I think I can't find it here, but maybe I read it somewhere else that Florida has given up offensively 12 tackles for loss in 2 games.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No.
Especially we haven't even played an SEC opponent yet. That means there's just way too much penetration in the backfield. Busted assignments is usually what causes that.
Yes.
So better get it right for Saturday night in Death Valley. A huge game, Knoxville, Tennessee, Georgia at Tennessee, Brent.
Yeah, game day is going to be there. So the attention of the college football world will be on Knoxville, frankly. So that's going to be fascinating. Georgia's dominated the series as of late. Now Tennessee has a new quarterback in Joey Aguilar, who frankly has looked pretty good so far. But Georgia's won 8 in a row, 13 of the last 15, and they have taken the lead pretty well in the series, 29-23. Tennessee has beaten Syracuse and also East Tennessee State, and frankly have looked good in doing it. All in all, we mentioned Aguilar a few minutes ago. He has played well. This is, and Shane, you can comment on this too. This is Stockton's, the Georgia quarterback, his first true road game. So that will be interesting to see how he reacts in the game. Georgia was pretty lackluster against Austin Peay. The defense played well, kind of carried them through, and they struggled when they got near the goal line. They really only had one impressive drive for the entire game, dropped a couple passes, but I think they're doing better, certainly wide receiver. So you can see why this is the SEC game of the week.
Yeah, for sure. Andy says on Facebook Live, I believe 5 of those tackles for loss are Trey Wilson screens. Well, they still count, but some of those screens were RPOs that were bad decisions by the quarterback. Somebody on here, where is it? Oh, C. Irby on YouTube brought to you by Quality Plum says, QB, what do you think about Petrino as a potential head coach? You think UF would hire a guy like him? No, I do not. I think he'd be great. I think he's a great head coach. I think he can dial up ball plays.
Yeah.
And people want somebody with some emotion. Well, he'll give you plenty of emotion.
Yeah, he will, won't he? Yes.
Yeah, you won't like him very much as a he's just he's hard to coach for. I do know that. I have a lot of friends that have coached there and wherever he's been and did not want to coach with him anymore. Um, Brent, Mississippi State's playing Alcorn, but boy, what a win for the Dogs.
Tremendous win. Blake Shapen threw a 58-yard touchdown pass with 30 seconds left in the game. I give him credit. You can explain this better than anybody. He wasn't trying to dink and dunk. He threw it down the field. I think they may have had a bit of a busted coverage on the play, but still they made it work. And that's a big thing with that. Mississippi State beat a top 15 non-conference opponent, Shane, first time since 1991. So that was a big win for Labby. Shapen was 19 to 33 for 279. And listen, this is very unusual in this day and age. Arizona State had 251 yards rushing and lost the game. But we're kind of in a different day now, are we not, Shane? Where you can have nearly 300 yards rushing and lose a game, which is something that used to never happen.
Yeah. The actually Matt Wyatt, who is the color analyst, former quarterback for Mississippi State,
Yes.
we text every now and then. He sent me the final play of the game. Brent, it looks like it's a busted coverage, but it was the design. They played cover zero.
Really?
I have no idea why. And can you imagine if this was the Gators that did that and lost the game, my computers would blow up.
It would, wouldn't it? Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Goodness gracious.
So just, Billy's not the only one that has questionable calls or whatever, but Kenny Dillingham, who's a hot commodity out there, who
Yes,
took his team
he
to the
is.
playoffs, had a game won on the road in an SEC environment and decided they call cover zero.
Yeah. Wow.
I just don't understand that either. That makes no sense compared to running left tackle or throwing to your tight ends. That makes absolutely no sense playing cover zero. Steven on YouTube brought to you by Quality Plum says QB and Brent. Sports is a wonderful reprieve from the hardships in life, politics, etc., especially today. Thanks for what you do. Well, we appreciate you listening, Steven.
Absolutely.
It ain't easy. It ain't easy.
No.
Missouri, big win for them. I don't think people realize their win over Kansas. They haven't played them in a while. Big win. They're hosting Louisiana, which they should handle. But your thoughts on the Missouri Tigers? Eli Drinkwitz's name has been popping up as a potential Florida coach.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not surprised. He's done well, frankly, and they're predicted to have an easy win over Missouri. Louisiana. They're getting better, and you think about all the people that they lost from last year, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. He is unconventional. I know people sometimes don't know what to think of him, but Shane, as a head coach, he has done a great job for that school.
Yeah, he's a unique guy. I tell you who, I've never met him, but Doring knows him, obviously, working with the SEC Network, and he tells me that I would love Eli Drinkwitz. So Doring knows what kind of coaches I like, so
yes,
maybe I would. Andy's question for you, Brent, on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mental Law. Brent, South Florida is the only non-Power 4 school in the top 25. Could they possibly be a playoff team?
Well, anything's possible. Now they're going to have to obviously run through the schedule, but they've got a good quarterback. Their defense is better than people realize. And Shane, the other reality is, if they go to the playoffs, how popular is their head coach going to be at that point?
Very true. Oklahoma. will be playing in front of about
Yeah,
8,000 people this week at
maybe.
Temple.
Yeah, yeah. And Shane, how many of those will be Oklahoma fans?
If there's 8,000, 7,500 will
Yeah,
be Sooner
yeah,
fans.
yeah. Absolutely. Now, Temple is 2-0.
I didn't know that.
Also with Casey Keeler and their quarterback Evan Simon, who is a Rutgers transfer, 9 touchdowns and no interceptions. But John Mateer, the Oklahoma quarterback, actually leads football Division One in total offense with 416 yards a game. Now it's early, we understand that. Big win for Oklahoma over Michigan. They're 2-0, so they're playing well. Mateer is playing well. I'm curious what you think about him so far.
Well,
Go ahead.
I said before the season I thought he'd be the SEC Player of the Year. I think he's
Yeah,
that good.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. There's no doubt about that. Yes. Um, now look, when you win a game like Oklahoma did against Michigan, there are some really good things that come out of that. One concern, Shane, I'm curious what you think about this. Mateer, who's a pretty strong guy at quarterback, carried the ball 19 times. No other Sooner running back ran it more than 9. So
Yeah.
He's effective, but he also got to be careful not get hurt too.
Yeah, I think people don't realize. I mean, obviously, nobody really knows much about John Mateer because he played at Washington State last year, but he threw for almost 4,000 yards and he almost
He
had a
did.
thousand yards rushing. He's probably the
Yeah.
best dual threat quarterback in America.
Yes.
But you're right. He took some punishment against Michigan. I would advise him to kind of quit trying to run through people.
Yeah. Really.
He's probably about 220 at the most,
Yeah.
but he's a hell of a player. But yeah,
Yes.
and I don't know if the running back from that transfer from Cal, did he play against Michigan?
He played. He was very limited in his carries. He only had 4 carries, and he got hurt early. Jay Nod is really good coming from Cal, and after he is able to get healthy, he'll be much better. They've redone their offensive line, but Shane, their offense is considerably better than it was last year.
Yes, indeed. Michael says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plum, I was calling for Eli Drinkwitz last year. You never mentioned him. No, I didn't. I didn't. I just mentioned him this year because Doring said I may like him. I
Yeah.
mean, what do you want me to do? Uh, South Carolina hosts Vanderbilt. Boy, Vandy, didn't they score 32 unanswered in the second
Yes.
half?
Yes. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Listen, this is one of those under the radar games that frankly makes the conference as good as it is. Now look, I respect the Big Ten, but the Big Ten, after you get about 4 teams down, they have a drop off. This year, particularly for the SEC, we're not seeing that. In this South Carolina Vandy game, with Diego Pavia and Lenore Sellers, 2 of the better quarterbacks in the league, I mean, it's really pretty fascinating to be able to see this. South Carolina's had some injuries. Brady Hunt is undergoing some testing. He caught 4 passes, 45 yards. South Carolina's beaten Vandy 16 straight games. Now, Vandy is averaging, this has got to be a record for them, and again, it's early in the season, about 480 yards of offense, 254 passing, 231 rushing. Shane, for Vandy, that's about as balanced as it gets, right?
Yeah, there's no question about that. This is going to be a heck of a game. What time is this game, Brent?
Let me see if I can find that.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot there.
No, that's okay. I think I'll
It's got to be
double
an
check
early
this.
game, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think, yeah. I'm looking in my notes and I don't see that yet, but I'll look it up.
Chris and Mayak on the Titan Mar text line says, Shane, not 5 minutes before Kirk was assassinated, he presented the gospel of Jesus Christ to over 3,000 students, and he does that at every event he holds. Yes, he
does.
was an outspoken conservative political figure, but he will forever be remembered as a follower of Jesus Christ. We need more Charlie Kirks. Agree.
Amen.
Rick from Jupiter on the Titanamar text line. Hey, QB, if DJ continues to play poorly and no improvement in his mechanics, well, he's not going to improve his mechanics in a week. Do you see Napier benching him, or is it ride or die with DJ for the season? I think it's ride or die. Too much money is being paid.
Mm-hmm.
Dave from Macon on the Titanamar text line says, tell us three things Florida has to execute Saturday night to have a chance to win midway through the fourth quarter. Well, we got to block them. We got to hit open guys when they're there. And defensively, we got to keep everything in front of us and try to somehow pressure their quarterback. If we don't pressure their quarterback, he is going to slice and dice us to death.
Yeah, and see where LSU has really improved this year is Baker came over from Missouri as D coordinator. They are much improved defensively. I'm curious what you've seen on tape, Shane, but they are much improved defensively than what they have been the last few years.
Oh yeah, it's night and day defensively. They added a lot of good players in the portal. All right, I guess this game, I think it's a night game in South Bend.
It is.
The Aggies are rolling in there. Brent, I got a funny feeling Texas A&M is going to beat them.
They could. And Notre Dame was off last week, so they did not play, which gave them a little bit of time to rest. But I mean, and look, I know it was against Utah State, but frankly, Texas A&M has been very impressive. 554 yards of offense. The quarterback Marcel Reed, 220 in the air and 66 on the ground. Now, where A&M is really excelling is they lead the SEC in tackles for loss, 9 tackles for loss in 2 games. Look, I know they haven't. The competition has been not real stellar, but KC Concepcion, the wide receiver who came over, he is playing well. Mario Craver, 2 straight 100-yard receiving games. Terry Busey, their wide receiver, who's a sophomore, is also playing well too. So that's something to consider. C.J. Carr at quarterback for Notre Dame. It was 19 of 30 for 221 in the loss to Miami. So look, I'm with you. Notre Dame is good. Jeremiah Love needs to run the ball more. They're running back, but this, for some reason, Shane, this game's kind of getting lost with all the other games. But as you said earlier, it is a great weekend for SEC football.
Brent, who do you think, in your opinion, who wins? Notre Dame, Texas A&M.
I think A&M's playing better right now, frankly.
Well, Notre Dame's only played 1 game. I think they were
Yes.
off last week. But
They were.
can you imagine if Notre Dame starts the season 0-2?
Well, that'd be unbelievable. I hadn't thought about that, but that's a great point. It really would. And particularly with a number of people who think Notre Dame's going to be in the playoffs again.
Yeah, and I mean it would be an enormous win for A&M. I just, Marcel Reed is limited throwing the football, but if he gets going running, it could cause some problems
Good.
For the Irish. We got well, first of all, let's get to some ACC. Another big game in the ACC that's kind of flying under the radar. I don't know the status of Haynes King. A buddy of mine who's a diehard Georgia Tech guy I saw yesterday up in Georgia told me he's not sure Haynes King's going to play, but Clemson at Georgia Tech.
Yeah, that's a huge game. It really is. I mean, the line's been around 1 or 2 points, frankly. Now King's a pretty tough kid. He was limited to 120 yards passing and -3 rushing at the last time they played in 2023. But Georgia Tech's just a better program right now. I mean, Clemson's predicted to win 29-24 type thing. But Shane, would it shock you if King is halfway healthy, if they are able to win the game? And look, this is frankly a big game for Clemson. I mean, after losing the opener to LSU, this is a game they really need to win. But it's going to be fascinating to see that this is easily one of the best games in the ACC.
Yeah, I'm a big Haynes King fan. He's just a gamer. Tough as nails, puts the team on his back and goes and plays hard.
Does. Yes.
Um, I'll pick that game with JC tomorrow. I hadn't really thought much about it. Real quick, Gator and Emily on YouTube, brought to you by uh, Melvin Lawson. I just don't understand why they don't demand Napier to hire an OC. Napier's too prideful and stubborn to do it. It doesn't matter. You can't hire anybody now.
Yeah.
And I go back to Will Muschamp hired a different offensive coordinator. He had a different offensive coordinator every year he's here because I try to tell people, I honestly, if they came in and said, who do you think Billy should hire as offensive coordinator in America? I don't know. I don't even, and I think I know football. I don't even know who I would want to hire.
Yeah.
Because if you're a great offensive coordinator, you'll probably have become a head coach.
Yeah. Probably.
And if
Yes.
you are and calling plays somewhere, you're not going to go somewhere else to call the plays because if you're doing well, you're probably going to be elevated
Hmm.
or hired by somebody else to be a head coach. They just don't fall off trees, people, just like great head
No.
coaches. I go through this every day. I'm about tired of going through it, quite honestly.
Yeah.
Uh, Miami Hurricanes. I think South Florida gets blasted this week, Brent.
Yeah.
I think we did so many dumb things in that game in all three phases. That game was lost in three phases of football. I just don't know if Miami could do it as well.
Yeah.
But I said going into the South Florida game, South Florida had zero chance in the trenches against us.
Hmm.
I think Miami's trenches are better than ours, and I
Yeah.
think they're going to dominate South Florida.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was. They beat South Florida last year, 50-15. It was It was close at halftime, though. But I mean, look, I give you South Florida credit. I mean, they've really played well so far. And Alice Golish has done a nice job on that coaching staff. But I'm with you. I think Miami is playing very well right now. I'm curious what you think about Carson Beck at this point, but I know he's not flawless, but he's done a good job.
Well, I think Carson's in a really good system for him. He can throw the football. He's in a
Can.
pass-friendly, the Mike Leach air raid offense. He's got a
Yes.
tremendous offensive line in front of him. And he's got playmakers everywhere on the outside. So he looked very
Yeah.
comfortable against Notre Dame. We'll see how the season plays out. Real quick, Mark or MSRK says on YouTube, brought to you by Qualcomm, no fundamentals are important for a QB, but you look at QBs like Mahomes and a few others, their footwork is not conventional. Their footwork is conventional when a guy's open. You only
Hmm.
change your feet or whatever when you have to do something unorthodox. Okay. DJ did this last year, and I said it on the air. His footwork was terrible. I think that's why he has shoulder problems, quite honestly, because he doesn't use his body. It's all arm. You cannot fix it in a year. So Coach Spurrier, he basically said that is the key to playing quarterback, and I agree with it 1,000%. You're talking about Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. These guys are the greatest players on earth.
Yeah. Really.
DJ Light was nowhere near their ability, but they set their feet when they can set their feet.
Yeah.
And that was the problem. When he had a clean pocket, he never sets his feet. Um, there was one other one I want to get to before we got you out of here. Everybody says Shane is available as OC. No, thank you. Because I can tell you right now, people, I feel like I can call plays. I know offense, but I'm gonna make some bad play calls because you're not gonna like them. Everybody didn't like the Wildcat reverse pass that they called. I loved it.
Yeah.
Wasn't open.
Hmm.
It happens.
Hmm.
So people be booing the
Listen.
hell out of me too. Give me some nuggets, Brent.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to ask you this real quick. Texas plays UTEP.
Hmm.
But I'm curious along the same line, what you think of Arch Manning?
His
Um,
mechanics are terrible. They weren't like that last year. I don't know
I
if
agree.
he's trying to impress somebody. I don't get it. Um, Makes no sense to me because he was pretty fundamentally sound,
He was.
and that is the most important. Your feet are the most important thing playing quarterback.
Hmm.
If you have bad feet or bad footwork, you're not going to play in a consistent level. And that's what's important at the quarterback position is consistency. Consistency and execution. I didn't say anything about what a great throw I made, what a great run I made, because those are going to come and go. You're going to make a few of those a game. But consistency is 95 plays in a football game have good fundamentals. And it all goes back to that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And Texas will start playing tougher teams coming up, so that and some of that needs to get straightened out. And as you said, it doesn't get straightened out overnight. So that's something to look at. But listen, Shane, it's going to be a fascinating Saturday, frankly, from noon until I think Bama's the noon game, and then you've got Tennessee and Georgia's the 3:30 game, and then the later game, obviously LSU, Florida, and also the A&M game. So if you're home Saturday and all you got to do is watch football, it's going to be a great day for you.
It really is, no doubt about it. Brent, appreciate your time again. We'll talk to you next week. Enjoy the weekend.
Good, you too, bud. Take care.
That's Brent Beaird, a college football analyst. Join us on the Titan More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Tim. Florida Boy on YouTube says DJ is off rhythm, but not terrible. He has more TDs than Nussmeier. Nuss hasn't looked good. Nussmeier's fundamentally sound, and he's played Clemson. Look, I love DJ, but he had I don't, his feet are terrible. There's no other way to put it. Fundamentals are terrible. Let's take a quick timeout, come back to get more some texts, and y'all just got me. Shoot me your questions. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back.
Our premium sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union,
International Diamond Center,
Meldon Law, UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute, JF Hayden Craft Liqueurs, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Los Linderos Tequila. Gridiron sponsors are Baker Sporting Goods, Comfort Temp, Electronics World, Florida Victorious, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteak, Celebrate Primary Care, Dowling Sign, Gator Bait Media, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, Nest and Wow, MG&A Wealth Management. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook and YouTube. Listen to the podcast whenever on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. To become a sponsor, call my man Freddie at 352-284-3733.
Naysayers. Setbacks. Injuries. Life throws a lot of hurdles your way. The key is just keep jumping them.
Coach, you know, it always impressed me how you beat Florida State to win the 1996 National Championship.
And I was really impressed with your 06, 08, and 09 Gator teams.
And the way you coached Danny to the Heisman Trophy.
A lot like what you did with Tim Tebow.
You know, you won more SEC championships than you lost home games at the Swamp.
And you had plenty of super games in front of our Gator Nation.
Yeah, there really is something special about the Swamp.
I guess that's why we say about the Swamp, only the Gators get out alive.
To the Swamp and the Gators, with the best beverage served at Spur's Gridiron Grill, 100% agave, Los Linderos Tequila, aged in bourbon barrels for a smoother taste.
I think you mean Head Beer Coach 1966 lager, a crisp, light, bodied lager for easy drinking.
Nope. Los Linderos Tequila, smooth enough to drink neat and bold enough to elevate a cocktail.
1966 lager, enjoyed on game days in the fall or whenever you need a winning cold brew.
Los Linderos Tequila.
1966 lager.
Los Linderos.
1966 lager.
Y'all stop bickering.
Okay, you're both wrong anyway. The best thing Spurrier's Gridiron Grill offers are Jerry's famous chocolate chip cookies.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. Ruzoga State Farm is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visit ogreinsurance.com. Give them a call, 352-240-1779. Back to the Titan and More Hotline, courtesy of Comfortent. We're joined by Kelly Ray Finley, head coach of the women's basketball team. Good morning, Kelly Ray. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm great. Thanks for having me on, Shane, as always.
Absolutely. Tell everybody, y'all are getting ready to do a big fundraiser for your program, what it's all about.
You're a little bit frozen. Uh-oh. Can you hear me, Shane?
I got you now. Tell everybody about your fundraiser you're getting ready to have.
I got you. Sorry for that pause, everybody. I don't know what the internet might be going a little wonky here in Gainesville. I don't know what's up with that, but just wanted to give you guys the first opportunity to hear about our fashion show fundraiser that we're hosting, kicking off homecoming weekend, October 16th. Tickets will become available this Friday afternoon, supported by Florida Victorious. And we're just really looking forward to having a fun evening, just to kick off the year and the season ahead for us in women's basketball. We open November 3rd. In the O-Dome against North Florida, and we hope to have everybody there.
So you're having a fashion show, right?
Yeah, are you going to come?
I'll try, but tell everybody where it's going to be and what day and what time. Maybe you just
I got you. Yeah, no, you're good. October 16th at the Cade Museum.
Okay. What day of the week is that?
It's a Thursday evening. Prior to our homecoming weekend. So those of you that are not in town, come a day early. Come a night early. We promise it won't disappoint. But it'll be a fun night. We've partnered with Florida Victorious is supporting us in this event, and our cause is we're trying to get awareness out for mental wellness, and a couple of foundations here in Gainesville. Doing the right thing by our community and trying to uplift those around us.
So I'll be honest, I've never been to a fashion show. When you go to a fashion show, are people that go there, obviously they pay to come for the charity or whatever the cause
Absolutely.
is. But do they say, I want to buy that dress or?
Well, you could do that. We have a couple of vendors. There's a couple of sponsorship opportunities still available. But the city of Gainesville has been incredibly generous to us, just in their involvement in this. The Dazzlers will be there with us as well. And so our girls are going to walk the runway, style, MC a little bit. We have a special guest coming in, former player from London, who will make an appearance, but all those details will come in the coming weeks. So be sure to, be on the lookout for that link so that you all can get your tickets early.
All right. We'll make sure we publicize that on here for sure. Let's talk about your team. You excited for your team? Obviously, y'all start practice here in a couple of weeks, official practice, but you've been practicing a little bit all summer.
That's right.
We know how that goes. But tell us a little bit about your team.
We're going to be, much more. Can you hear me there, Shane?
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
We got you.
In regards to our team, just much more athletic, fly around defensively, hoping to be much improved, but that's still yet to be told, right? Young but talented, very, very talented. We returned Liv McGill, Layla Reynolds, and Miara O'Neal. I think you guys will be impressed with what you see with them. And then, those that are shining early in the preseason, Caterina Piatti from Italy. Those of you that like post play, she's got some really elite footwork, and you can tell she's played a different level of basketball in her life. So got a lot of exciting things. We're going to be able to generate some offense off of our defense this season. But y'all have to come out and watch us in the O-Dome.
We got a text here on the Titan and More text line from James. He says, Kelly Ray, I'd love your thoughts on Caitlin Clark and how the WNBA girls treat her.
Hold on, I can't hear you so good here. Hold on.
All right. So he says, I would love your thoughts on Caitlin Clark and how the players in the WNBA treat her.
Oh boy. Well, yeah. I think Caitlin has herself a great career. I think I'm not in that space. So I'm not exactly sure, what's meant by the treatment of her, maybe fouls. So maybe that's more refereeing than it is other players in the league. But she's definitely a generational player who is extremely talented and fun to watch. And it's really unfortunate that she's been out the former half of this season.
Yeah, no doubt. How is it coaching now, having a new little boy?
It's awesome. I think it opens your eyes to so many new things. But just we were in the gym the other day, and the girls are great. They always ask, our young women are, where's Lakin? Is he coming to practice? No, he cannot come to practice every day. Absolutely not. But he loves to watch the ball bounce, and they're all so great with him. And so it's fun to see the game through his eyes, even though he's just 5 months old.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, before we get you out of here, here's a text from James, also on the Titan MR text line. He wants to know, Kelly Ray, how has college NIL, the college games changed with NIL and women's basketball?
Pretty dramatically. We're very fortunate with our team that we have a little bit of ability to have that old school approach. I think everybody on our team has earned everything that they've gotten. That doesn't mean that other people have not. But we've been able to retain our younger players and develop them. And I think that's a little bit old school as opposed to now with multi-year transfers. You could be at 5 colleges in 5 years. That's, it's just different. But when you have 18-year-olds going against 24-year-olds, that's a game changer. I think NIL is a huge part of that, along with the changes in NCAA rules. But the motives and the whys are just a little bit different than they were even probably 4 years ago.
All right, one more text. This is from Fred on the Titan MR text line. Ask Kelly Ray what needs to happen for us to compete with South Carolina and LSU, who have way more NIL dollars than us.
Okay, we need y'all to donate.
There you go.
Y'all need to come to our fundraiser, support us. Those of you that have the ability to do so, and then fill the stands. I mean, the energy, and if you can't donate, show up, right? Show up, support our team. The energy in that O-Dome needs to be rocking, because there is no doubt that the momentum and the energy in that gym really helps our team in pivotal moments in games, right? And then, I would say we just got to continue to grow and develop and retain our younger players.
And correct me if I'm wrong, if someone just wants to donate money to the women's basketball program, they can go through Florida Victorious and designate, I want these dollars to go to the women's basketball program. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right, Shane. There's a drop-down menu. And you just click women's basketball, as there is for all of our teams. And everybody is in this space. Women's basketball is a little bit unique because there's a equivalent sport in men's basketball, right? So though the landscape is much different, it's not too far off. And women's basketball, with units being paid out in the NCAA tournament and some of those other changes, it's becoming more and more prevalent. The TV deals increasing in money, and with the exposure in the WNBA and the league unrivaled, women's basketball as a whole is on the up and up.
Good stuff. We appreciate you coming on. Obviously, we'll keep promoting your fundraiser, the fashion show, and we'll try to get as many people there as
Elevated
possible.
swamp style, Shane. Let's elevate that swamp style, okay?
I like it. I like it. Kelly Ray, appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, and go Gators.
Yeah, that's Kelly Ray Finley. Join us on the Titan More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Town. Gallo Car Wash, locally owned by UF alum and the only car wash that provides NIL opportunities to Gator athletes. Locations on Northwest 13th Street, Williston Road, and coming soon to Jonesville. Appreciate Kelly Ray joining us. I totally forgot she was joining us. I booked her early in the week, but yesterday had me flustered. I ain't gonna lie, and I just totally forgot. Real quick before we get out of here, where is it? I wanted to read this. MSRK on YouTube brought to you by Quality Plumb. I'm not defending DJ. I'm just saying any QB that's on the move because of the rush is not thinking about his foot. You don't think about your footwork ever, not even when you're in the pocket and clean. It's just your natural. It's what you've trained your whole life. Like if you go back and you watch quarterback play, it's, three hitch and throw, three plant and throw, three shuffle up, throw here. It's not drop back with your feet all spread out. It's hard to explain, but when you have practiced your entire life the correct fundamentals and footwork, it just becomes natural. And then when you're scrambling or somebody comes to the A gap and you have to throw a check down or a shallow cross, that's when an off-platform throw is done. But it's your natural ability doing it. It's not something that you even practiced. I can't tell you how many sidearms I threw, but I never practiced them because practice them puts pressure on your shoulders and stuff because you're not using your body correctly, and that causes arm problems. But that's how I was taught, and I'm a firm believer in that 1000%. All right, hope everybody has a great day. Again, it's 9/11, and what happened yesterday has really shaken me up, and we'll get through it though. Hope everybody has a great day. We'll see you tomorrow, folks. Take care.